Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the Lifeboat. Can I get a 5x5? Because everything got a little screwy, and my microphone didn't sound like it wanted to work. Oh no, don't go with that. Don't do that. Don't short out on me. Don't short out on me. There we go. That's better. Gonna have to replace this thing. It's got a short. Man, that sucks. All right, everybody. So this is one of those shows that we do every once in a while. And to be really honest with you, it might be the most important show that we do. And I'll tell you why. Very often, the things that jump out because of what my history is, the things that jump out at people with drug addiction and criminal behavior, the things that I kind of made famous while I was doing dope every day. It affects everybody in a different way. The one thing that we all have in common is that when this begins. Hello, Vixen. Good to see you. Saying hello, Alan.
Hello.
Yeah, Vixen saying hi. It's one of those things that we do not get out of this alone. And sadly, regardless of what is affecting us in life, we tend to suffer alone. The fact that we have, hello, V. Good to see you, hun. The fact that we have individuals on here who struggle with virtually every addiction on the known to man tells you a lot about the reason behind why most people who struggle with addiction will never get clean. And the reason is that they'll do it in silence. They will suffer in silence. And whether or not, in a lot of cases, we have people on here who come onto the Lifeboat who are struggling with things in their life that have nothing to do with addiction in any way. But there's something in their life that they need to overcome, something in their life that they need to deal with. And you will find across the board that what makes life work for individuals in those situations is connection. It's the reason that we wind up so lost so often. Is because when we start to feel ourselves under the pressure of the things in life that make our journey difficult, the first thing that we do is we pull everything inside, right? We don't talk to a soul. We hold it as deep as we can inside our body in the hopes that this is going to make everything go away. And of course it doesn't, right? It makes everything 5 times worse. We're seeing a lot of people who have come on the Lifeboat who are doing everything they can to link up with people. We have a system here where we talk about getting your 5, having 5 individuals who you correspond with on the regular basis, and you can reach out to if whatever your affliction is starts to get you to the point where you do not feel comfortable in your own skin. That is one of the things that we see come back on us again and again and again, is this discomfort in our own skin. Illegally Blonde says, I'm new and I absolutely love this channel. Well, it's good to have you. Welcome to the Lifeboat. Who do we have here? Cemetery. 9 months. My God, has it been that long? Cemetery, I hope you're doing better, my friend. Seriously, I hope you're hanging in there, man. Thoughts and prayers going out to Cemetery and his family. It's a very difficult thing dealing with the loss of a loved one, the loss of a parent. Is really, really tough. So thoughts and prayers going out. Hello, Tommy Bird. Good to see you, man. Guacaholic. Good to see you, brother. Looking good in green. Thank you, my friend. And Anik, good to see you. Yeah, I missed everybody. It's good to see Heather Joy back up and about, walking around, right? Joining those of us on the somewhat healthy side of this equation. Sandy Bowers, good to see you. Joseph Burbo. You can't keep it if you don't give it away. Boy, there's something to that, isn't there? There really is something to that. So the question becomes, are you ready to suffer in silence? Or are you ready to step up to the plate and start talking about the things in your life that are causing you pain and problems? It's a difficult thing for most of us to do. And one of the biggest reasons for that is there is a massive stigma put on anybody that begins to talk about anything going on where they're not quite, perfect like the 1950s, family, and everything is perfect. And it's like sitcom, textbook, perfect life. None of us have it. None of us. We pretend we do. If you don't believe that, go over and check out all of your friends on any social media platform that you've ever seen. You never see anybody that puts a picture of themselves yelling at their kid in the kitchen, right? Junior got arrested again today. It's not the kind of things that people post. They post fantastic meals that they're having. They post the new BMW that they probably can't afford, but they got. It's pretty funny what happens with everything in our life. We all fall victim to comparison, which is the absolute theft of joy. Wow. Masterson is a monster. Illegally Blonde says, I hate to admit this, but I thought Danny was innocent until I stumbled on this channel. And the growing up in Scientology, Masterson is a monster. He is a monster. It's, you know what? And it's one of those things in this country where when we don't have royalty, right? We don't have kings and queens and princesses and princes, but we absolutely make Hollywood into that. And because of that, we tend to think that, I don't know, maybe they're a little better than the rest of us. And maybe they, they're perfect. They don't live real lives, right? They are the chosen, and they live, the dream that everybody wants. And we tend to believe that they've got to be as nice as they are in any show that we saw or any character that we associate with them. And the truth of the matter is that this guy was a monster. And it's not even the worst part of the story. The worst part of the story is that so many people knew this cat was a monster. I mean, that's really the tough part of this, is that for a really, really long time, a lot of people seemed to know that this dude was the ugliest kind of dangerous that you can imagine. And nothing was done about it. That's really the part that becomes difficult. So how do we do this reaching out and asking for help thing? Because it goes against every single thing in our makeup, right? Well, we got a theory here on a boat. It's a little bit different than how it's done in other places. And one of the things that makes this easy is none of us can see you, right? None of us can see you. And very often people use names that make them somewhat anonymous in a slightly different way than you would do at a 12-step meeting. This is a very, very anonymous place to be. And we've got some other platforms that are set up as a place for people to go and meet that five, right? Start talking to individuals, start doing a little DMing, and start figuring out which one of the people that you meet on the boat are individuals that you feel like you can call and talk to when things are bad. It doesn't have to be drug things, you understand? It doesn't have to be booze things. It has to be connection. The problem, people, is that this cool little thing, this is hot crap, isn't it? Like when I was a kid, we would have arguments that went on for days about who was the quarterback in the 1977 Super Bowl, who threw for, and we would just have debates because we all thought we were a little bit smarter than the next cat. Now you pick this thing up, right? And you say that chick's name, right? Siri, who was the quarterback in the 1976, and it just spits it out to you. If you ask Siri why the sky is blue, she'll give you an answer to tell you kids. We live in a different world than we ever have, right? And the idea behind the people who invented this whole social media thing, the people that created this, had the coolest concept in the world. Believe that. If you read the notes, when these guys were sitting around talking about the internet, they thought of the lifeboat. I'm not kidding you, man. I'm not kidding you. They thought of the lifeboat. They thought of individuals who were going to concentrate on the things that they all had in common, regardless of what country they were in, regardless of what government they were under, or what religion they believed. We could all come together and rally around whatever, right? Your love of British sports cars or whatever platform that you end up on, where there's one thing that is a rallying point. Well, what if you made that rallying point living your best life? Having people that you were connected to that you could open up and talk to about the deepest and darkest things that bother you. It's a pretty cool concept. It really is. And if you ask any of the people on the lifeboat who have done this, if you ask any of the people here who have built that support network, who designed their own sobriety plan, you understand? This is a concept that's unique. It really is. Design your own plan. No one here is going to tell you how to do anything. No one here is going to bust your chops if you come here. I just read a comment that said, I still have a drink a night. No one's going to give you any crap for that, right? We ask a couple of simple rules. Please don't glorify it. If you're still snorting cocaine, whatever. Don't come here and talk about how fantastic blow is. That's a quick way to get banned. We're not going to glorify anything that someone else is trying to quit. Likewise, if you're a heroin addict who's smoking 2 joints a day instead of shooting dope, God bless you. Happy for your swap. It's a hell of a trade. That was a good trade. We don't trip out on people that trade one drug for another if it's a good trade, right? For real. Maybe we can tackle that weed thing down the road. But if that's how you got off a smack, guess what? Good trade. Doesn't make you popular in the rehabilitation community. This abstinence thing is really what everybody pushes. And it has its place, to be sure. I need it. I'm not a guy that can fart around with the 90% of the substances out there are going to lead me back to heroin. And I know who I am. I know where I'm at, right? I have a real handle on this. And it's one of those things that if everybody did, we'd be in much greater shape. Schmoopy, thank you so much. You can always ask any question or leave any comment too. I really appreciate you, Schmoopy. Thank you so much. That is really so kind. And I love the name. I don't know what it is about Schmoopy, but I dig it. I feel like there's a reference in there to Family Guy. I think there's a Schmoopy. If not, it's really close. Wow, I ate 135 milligrams of PE shrooms before work today. That'll get it done. That'll get it done. I'll be really honest. I have nothing against psilocybin cubensis. I'm not a person that thinks it's a really bad drug. Never have. And I don't see it really abused often. I couldn't do it and go to work. I'll be really honest with you. I kind of view those things spiritually, but hopefully you had a good time, right? For real. I'm not here to badmouth any of that. I'm here to badmouth addiction. I don't know too many people addicted to psilocybin. Really doesn't happen. Jason P., thank you so much. The Lifeboat, one of the best things in my life in years. Wow, what a cool thing to say, man. What a very, very kind thing to say, Jason. I really, really appreciate that, man. That is a very cool thing to say. So look, you've got a platform here where you can come and people aren't looking at you. No one here is judging you for anything. We have another unique thing here on the Lifeboat. We're smart enough to realize that, very often, when we're doing the dumbest things that we do in life. Christy Caldwell, thank you so much, Christy. You look great in green. We start to look at the sobriety thing and anything else. This process of becoming connected, this process of opening up and sharing, will do things to you that will change your life. And we go about it a bit unique. If you follow what I'm saying, here's the deal. We're not trying to get you to subscribe to any particular point of view. We believe this. We believe that the average person who decides to get sober will spend more time planning a 3-day vacation to Lake Tahoe to stay in the bungalows than they would spend on the rest of their life remaining sober. And that's pretty messed up, right? But there's nobody out there that gives you a handbook when it comes time to quit and says, guess what? You need to plan for this. I'll give you a couple quick examples. Guess what? If your drug of choice is alcohol and you stop drinking, you're going to end up at a party where somebody does everything within their power to put a drink in your hand. Doesn't make the person a jackass. It makes the person the host of a party, right? About 90% of the people who are going to consume booze, and I think it's actually closer to like 95, are people who are going to continue to do it and never fall into that deep pit of addiction that all of us here have tasted, right? It's just a little different. About 3% of people that abuse anything are going to become hopelessly addicted to it. 3%, right? That means the vast majority of people are not going to have problems with this. So the person that says to you, come on, have a drink. What, are you kidding me? I had this beer brought in from wherever. They're probably not trying to be a dick. But if you haven't planned that this is going to happen to you, then the first time it happens, it's going to slap you in the head. You're going to have no control whatsoever over the scene. This shouldn't have come as a shock. Are you following me? This one really shouldn't have come as a shock. If you're planning your future, this is happening, right? This is something that's going to come up. What are you going to do when it happens? Have a plan before you walk in. Have a plan that, all right, I'm going to a party I got invited to. I really don't want to go. It's kind of one of those things that's an obligation, but I'm going to have to go to that party. I've always got a game plan of how the hell I'm getting out. I'm for real. To where I park, right? I'm not getting trapped someplace I don't want to be. I'm not going to be at a party where people are doing things that make me uncomfortable. I'm going to walk out instantly. You know why? Because I planned that crap 8 years before I was free. My future depends on me not ever using heroin ever again, or any opiate for that matter. If I use opiates, I promise you the Lifeboat's gone, and it'll take about 2 weeks. This will be gone. I crash and burn fast, really fast, because that's the addict that I am. So I have structured my life in such a way to ensure that I don't slip back down that road. I put canaries in the coal mine, things that I do every single day that if I start to slide on, like I promise you, look, I'm on vacation right now, right? We had some unusual things happen on the Lifeboat that kind of called me back from vacation that I needed to come and do a couple of shows, right? And I don't like leaving the crew alone. This is for a lot of people. This is the basis of their sobriety. The fact that they come here 2 hours every single day in the morning and then at night, and they take that 2 hours. Some people pop in for 5 minutes. Some people pop in for the entire show, and it doesn't much matter. But if you're taking 2 hours every single day, if twice during the day on the fives, you are taking time to come together with other people who are getting sober and concentrating on what it takes to be a sober individual, guess what's going to happen to you? I promise. Guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to freaking get sober. You are. And when you get sober, really unusual things happen. All of a sudden you start going, you know what? I don't know that I was hitting my full potential. Right? I don't know that I was hitting my full potential. I don't know that I was getting close. We've missed you too, Christy. Glad you're here. I don't know that I'm close. All of a sudden, you're going to start maybe setting some goals. And we go over this stuff. We do. One of the backbones of everything we do at the Lifeboat is journaling. If you go, yeah, I'm just not a journaler. Okay, maybe you're just not a sober person either. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but keep it real. You know what? When I decided that I wanted to get sober, my mentor, if he said to me, cut your finger off, mail it to Philadelphia, I would have done it. I would have. This guy had the keys to the kingdom. This is a guy that had gotten a lot of people just like me sober. I was willing to do whatever he told me to do if it meant that I wasn't going to do dope again, because I was terrified. Terrified. I was a 2-time Fed loser, right? Been to the federal penitentiary twice, once for bank robbery, once for guns. And if I catch a third, it's over, right? There's not well, I wonder what the judge is going to give Tommy kind of a thing. If I go back in, I'm doing life. It's plain and simple. So I was terrified. I really was. I was scared. And I started planning out my sobriety, and it became the backbone of my life. I knew that when I got to the streets, it was going to be a very different thing. I had choices, right? I could now go and do anything that I want. In prison, yeah, there's dope everywhere, but it's a little bit different in prison. All of a sudden, when you're out. So I spent years, literally years, putting together what I was going to do. I had intended a Lifeboat as part of my sobriety. It was not going to be the backbone of my sobriety, and I wasn't going to be doing lives. I was just going to be doing videos. And then we went live one day, and the boat said, we're a live channel. And we started doing a couple of these a day, and it's so good for me. It's incredible, people. I don't get to bail off halfway through a live feed. I'm going to be here for an hour. So I spend a couple of hours a day talking about sobriety to, people that are going to show up and while they're talking to other people about what works for them, right? You've got people who show up here every day and say, how are you doing? I don't think you have any idea the friggin' power in that statement, right? That's a question that has more power in it than you can imagine. It feels fantastic to have people that care. If you read the comment section, people say beautiful things about the Lifeboat, and it's not me. It's not. I'm not delusional. I've got an ego, but I'm not delusional. What makes this place unique is all of you. People that come here. Well, Christy is a great example, right? She's the queen of the normies. Christy's never had a drug problem, but she's here and she's in the fives of a lot of people. And it's an amazing feeling when you are a positive influence in the life of individuals who are struggling. When you're that person that someone reaches out to and says, you know what, I'm not doing well. And 10 minutes later, when they're hanging up the phone, they feel good. That has an effect on you that heroin doesn't, that cocaine doesn't, mixing the two doesn't. I promise you, I've tried just about every dope on the planet. When you're in somebody's five and they call you and they ask for help, and when they hang up, they say to you, I'm not going to use. Honestly, don't trip. I got this. I'm not going to use today. Thank you for your time. You're going to get chemicals in a cocktail that nothing you ever mixed brought out before, right? All kinds of cool stuff get released all at once. One of those chemicals is oxytocin, which is like the whole world's kind of giving you a hug, right? It's just a fantastic feeling. It's the love, that just unbelievable feeling. I get up speedballing recovery. Yeah. I get up every single morning at 5 a.m. to do this, people. I'm not a 5 a.m. kind of cat. You know what I mean? If I saw 5 a.m., it was because I was coming in from the night before. And you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. There's times on this boat where I spend most of the night talking to individuals, and then I get up and I do it at 5 because it's important, for real. And it's a very large part of my sobriety, and I'm a straight freaking addicted to what it feels like when you help somebody. Nothing altruistic about that. I love it. I love the way it feels. And I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I possibly can. And we're going to put into place all kinds of people who are going to be able to do it when I'm gone. But we're going to build this thing. Buddha, love you, brother. Check your text messages. I sent you one. Please check your text messages. So here we have this platform. If you're showing up here and it's your first time and you're listening to me and you're like, man, I'm not popping into that comment section and telling somebody that I need help. Maybe you want to head over to the Facebook group page. It says The Lifeboat. Don't tell me you hate Facebook. Don't put a comment up in the comment section that says, man, I don't do Facebook. Facebook sucks. It does suck. It does. Absolutely no two ways about it. It's a crap platform. It's not fun. And it's just people who, like I said earlier, take pictures of themselves under the greatest circumstances in the world and then make you feel like you're not quite good enough a dad. Look at how good he's doing with his kids, right? You got the pictures about their throwing the ball in the front yard. And yeah, I don't care. Go put up a Facebook account, right? And the only place you ever got to go is the Lifeboat group page. I don't go anywhere else. I apologize to any of you who have put in a request to get me to friend you on Facebook. I don't look at them. It's nothing personal to you. I don't do any of them. I just don't do it. You know, there's a bunch. I looked through the other day with Alan. I said, you got to check this out because I don't do it. I don't like the platform. But the Facebook group page for the Lifeboat is so freaking different than anything you're going to come across on Facebook. There's none of the politics. There's none of the BS. It's a group of people who are telling one another that they're there for them. It's people that go there and say, I'm having a really bad day, man. I'm having a really bad day. And watching people reach out and say, I'm here for you, man. If there's anything that I can do, where the hell do you find that? And again, I'm not taking a victory lap, people. You built this. I just get the cool chair. But the Lemmy guy is here. I do believe the Lemmy guy is here. If I didn't see him, but we sent off a couple of emails to Lemmy earlier. Lemmy's a really good guy. But again, group of people that are all going, hey, where's so-and-so? A little worried about so-and-so. Boy, the emails that I got over the last 3 days from people who are worried that, they hadn't heard from this person or they hadn't heard from that person. Davlin88, good to see you. I love the fact that everybody's worried about people here. I really do. It says a great deal about what we've been able to build. I would join your party at 5. I'm retired. I have weird hours. Todd Fuller, here's the funny thing. Weird hours? This cat over here, when he's at home, I'm talking to him and it's tomorrow, 18 hours ahead of where we are today. We are in 110 or something like that countries, man. We're everywhere. The Lifeboat has really got a large footprint, right? Pacifist. What are you doing, man?
Lemmy.
Yeah, Lemmy's got jokes. Lemmy's got jokes. Answer your text messages, Lemmy. What are you doing to me? SPTV Tattoo Warrior, good to see you. So, if you feel uncomfortable making contact with people here, then work out direct messages, do whatever you got to do. But if all you're doing on the Lifeboat is coming here every once in a while and hanging out and listening to me, you're missing the point of what this thing is. For real. I'm not. Yeah, maybe I am. Screw it. Victory lapping it a little bit. But what we got here is so damn unique. And you know what? Tons of people are getting sober. Tons of people are putting down booze and blow and crack and fentanyl. We have a ton of people that are getting better. And we've got tons of people here who are supporting other individuals who don't have drug problems. We have a lot of people who are supporting one another who are struggling with eating disorders or people who have gambling addictions or people who are struggling with the damn phone. I'm telling you, people, pay attention to how much you use that thing in the course of a day. Make no mistake. This thing generates dopamine. That's all it does, right? The term dopamine hit, that term was never used prior to Silicon Valley coining that term. And it was used to describe what we get when somebody hits like. We get a thumbs up and you get that, ooh. Congratulations, Yankee Kyle. Well played. You get that warm fuzzy. You get that tingling feeling, right? It's by design. They call it a dopamine hit. And then they engineer it as well as they can to make sure that they stretch it as long as they can. You understand the idea is not to just get you wasted. The idea is to keep you there. How does one DM another lifeboater for anonymous or not support? There's a lot of different ways to do it. The easiest way to do it is to go ask to be let into the group page over on Facebook. We will, we will let you in, and then you'll have an opportunity to direct message anybody that you see there. And there's, I don't know, 350 or something people over there. So there's a lot of people, and they are engaged. These are the people that really want to take advantage of every single thing that we have here at the Lifeboat, right? These are the people who are planning their retirement. I mean, their recovery. They're planning how they're going to not do dope for the rest of their life. Bigger than a vacation, even if that vacation is to the bungalows at Lake Tahoe, where Marilyn Monroe once stayed. I'll have you know, the bungalows at Lake Tahoe are considered one of the most haunted places in all of California. True story. And it's Maryland. Hey, 500 subs overnight is a good thing. Every single time. I don't care how you got it. That's a good thing. Don't use Facebook. John Doe, it's completely up to you, brother. It's completely up to you. You know what I mean? It's up to everybody. But this isn't Facebook, right? You're not, in theory, you don't need to ever let anybody in the world know that you're on Facebook. You don't need to let anybody know what the name of your account is. But if you're trying to take advantage of everything that we do here, then you're going to want to start linking up with people that you meet. Ideally, I'd work with every single one of you, right? And I did in the very beginning of this. Hey, Russ, good to see you. In the very beginning of this, I dealt with every single person that came on the boat. I said, send me an email, and I worked with them one-on-one. You burn out. It kills you. It almost destroyed the Lifeboat. We ended up walking away. Me and my co-host walked away from this channel. And then we realized that this is a much bigger part of our recovery than we gave it credit for. And we fired the Lifeboat back up after about a month and a half, 2 months of being down. And we've never thought again of doing that. This is a really unique experiment. And they're like every experiment. Good to see you, James Novak. Like every experiment, and Ruth, just Ruth. With every experiment, there's going to be bumps in the road, right? There's going to be growing pains. People aren't always happy with the choice of what I decide to film. And there are people who are not always happy with the direction that they think I'm taking the Lifeboat, right? And I love that because it means that everybody has taken ownership of this channel, and that's always been the way it is. Sadly, you do have to have somebody that sits in this chair, and we're going to do everything within our power to make this Lifeboat as big as we possibly can. And we're going to continue to get everybody that comes on to understand that if you really, really want to make this work, then you're going to take advantage of the game plan that was put together by somebody a crapload smarter than me. You understand? This isn't my program. If it was my program, I'd warn you all to run for real. But that's not what it is. Getting sober has to begin with you. Boy, Russ nailed it. It really did. It really, maybe it got saved the draft. I'll check it, Buddha. But if not, look right after I leave here. I tried to send you one today. While I was with Alan Ballantyne at the Pima Air Museum, if you know anything about Arizona, we went and touched all kinds of aircraft we had no right to touch. It's a hell of a day. It really was. It was a hell of a day. Are you suffering in silence? Right? There are reasons that journaling is the most important thing in the world. I beat this to death. Journaling is the most important thing in the world. It is. It absolutely is. And not just because we're not supposed to leave things in our brain to destroy our sleep and make our day suck, which is what happens if you don't journal. Right? You got to get that stuff out so that your subconscious can actually work on subconscious stuff, not conscious stuff. Come home from work pissed off. Go to bed. You're not going to deal with any of the things that you need to because you're going to be dealing with what happened during the day. Take a piece of paper and write that down. Dump all of it. Get it all out before you go to sleep. It's a big thing. More importantly, though, it's going to tell you the parts of your life you're unhappy with. When your pen's on page and you're writing and it's just a free flow, it's like sitting down with a counselor for free, right? If your pen isn't writing, you feel like you're stuck, ask yourself, how does that make you feel? That's all they would do. And then continue to write. You understand? This is huge, people. It's absolutely huge. It's going to tell you what exactly it is that you're missing connection on. For some people, it's a loss. You know, people who get divorced, people who lose a significant other to death, people who lose a child. There's a reason that people go to group therapy for all of these things. There's a reason that group therapy is the gold standard for people who suffer. If we don't go through groups, we spend all of our time trying to explain the unexplainable. What do you mean you got out of prison and did more dope? What are you, stupid? Why in the name of God would you do that? Knowing full well that if you touch dope and you're going to end up back in prison, you did it anyway. Why? Well, I don't have to explain that to a drug addict, right? What goes up and down but doesn't move? What do we got? Oh, I missed it. Stairs. Yeah, I should have seen that one coming with 7th. If you're not writing things down and you're not journaling, I promise you're missing out on so much of who you are. For real, of who you are. And when you start peeling that onion back, really incredible things happen. Like you figure out exactly why it is you're doing dope in the first place. That epiphany, that moment where you realize that, holy crap, the dope's a symptom. This was the hardest thing in the world for me to wrap my brain around. You know, I remember sitting with Q and him saying to me, you don't do dope because you're addicted to it. And you don't do dope because you like getting high. You do dope because there's something in your life that you're unable to cope with. And the dope takes it away, right? You get nothing from addiction. Addiction takes, it doesn't give. So if you got something in your life that you need removed, right? Guilt, whatever, you continue to use dope to cover that up. It doesn't go away, people. It just festers. It eats you alive from the inside out. So are you suffering in silence? And you know what? I don't care what you're suffering with. It may sound crazy, but it's absolutely irrelevant. You understand that the Lifeboat is not about just drugs or alcohol. It's about living your best life. It's always been about living your best life since day one. If you go back and watch the first video, I'm pretty damn sure I said that. I'm sitting next to a guy that lost 150 pounds. You wrap your dome around that? For real, 150 freaking pounds. It's a human being. That's how you live your best life. You don't carry 150 pounds that you don't need. Right? That's not dope. But the principles that we use here will allow you to do anything. I promise you. But you're going to have to determine what that everything is. For so many of us, we could not tell you what our goals were. If somebody sat down and said, you can stroke that magic lamp over there, genie's going to come out and we're going to get this taken care of, you wouldn't know what to choose. You'd have no clue what to wish for. People that journal would not have a problem. I promise you. Because the problems in the lives of people that journal are very clearly defined because they continue to repeat again and again. As we dump everything in our head that's in there out, it's going to keep popping back up. It's like slapping you in the face and going, this is what is ruining my life. This is what is bothering me, right? It's going to be laid out in front of you right there. Or you can just bumble through life, bumping into things. If you're a person that says, Captain, I have tried to journal, I cannot, right? We've gone over this many times before. Tonight, when you sit down, make a list of every single teacher whose name you can remember from your education. First grade all the way up, right? Through college, through whatever grade you got to. Write down the teacher's name and anything you can remember about him. And you know what'll start happening? Memories from your youth will start flooding you. You know how you peel an onion? You look through your youth. You look through the memories because there's one in there that I promise you will be seared into you in a different way. And the first time you come across that memory in the way that you felt it, you're going to go, holy crap. From that day forward, I started doing drugs differently. From that day forward, the drinking was not about, enjoying the taste. It was not about relaxation. It suddenly became about killing something that we didn't want to feel. Again, addiction's great for taking crap away. It doesn't give you a thing. So what's the solution to that? The solution to that is connection, right? Fixes everything, I promise you. Connection. You got a marriage that's not going well. Why isn't it going well? Because you stopped freaking talking. You quit communicating. Have you ever been talking to a member of the opposite sex and the conversation feels scripted. It's so perfect. Like every word the person says leaves you going, damn, right? Where it's just perfect and it feels fantastic. We all remember those days. What we don't do is celebrate communication. In fact, we take this thing and we stop talking to people. We text them, right? We don't talk. We leave voice messages. We do every single thing that you can possibly do to eliminate communication, to eliminate one-on-one communication. That's what the cell phone has done. You realize how much I used to talk on a phone when it had a damn cord that went into the wall? You know, as busy as I am with the Lifeboat, Alan's been with me for days. I'm on that phone nonstop, but I'm not talking on it. Right? We do everything in our power to not connect. We do everything in our power to fall out of that part of our life. I could beat this to death every single night for the rest of the time that I do this channel. You understand? The opposite of addiction is connection. The opposite of suffering is connection. The opposite of everything is connection. And connection is the key to connection is pretty damn simple, right? It's communication. It's talking. I promise you, it's where we fall down on everything. It's where we fall down as countries. It's where we fall down in everything that we do in life. Sorry. It's where it falls apart. But if you're taking the time to talk to people and connect with people on a real level, your life will change. Think I'm crazy? Give it a try. And you know what, people? I'm not asking you to join this group, that group, nothing. For real. I'm telling you to make friends with the people here. Make friends with other people who understand what suffering is. This is not a hard concept. It really isn't. It's hard to break the ice. Why? Because we have been trained by this puppy for the last 2 decades to not talk to anybody. Right? That's what we're doing. We don't talk to anybody. Look at people on buses. Look at people on trains. Look at people in friggin' restaurants. When we were in California, there were about 3 tables right near where all of us were eating the night we all went out after the trial. And if you looked at the tables, one was steady watching us because I'm fairly sure that was the group following us. But the rest of them, you'd have 3 people sitting at the table, all staring at their phones. Honestly, it's like, what the hell are you doing? There was no communication of any kind. But at our table, since everybody had just met one another, right? And it's like you thought you knew these people, and now here they are in person, and you're excited, and you're having fun. And this thing, the hell rid of that, right? Nobody was looking at that. Well, except Ron checking how many views he got on the. I'm kidding. Somebody's gonna run and tell him that. He does like to check his phone. But the point is, it was so stark. It really was. It was stark. It's amazing what happens when we connect as human beings, right? Plain and simple. When we begin to connect with other human beings on a real and personal level, then amazing things begin to happen. And if you don't believe that it's possible that you can connect with people in this forum, if you feel like it's not connection, you know what I mean? It is and it isn't, because it's just, let me tell you something right now. I could literally rip off of the top of my head right now 9 or 10 names of people I love. No 2 ways about it. Absolutely love. I've built unbelievable relationships with that I've never stood in the same room with. And if it makes you feel any better, I too did not believe that that was possible. The biggest shock of everything that has ever happened on the Lifeboat is how close I have become with people who I've never met. This was a shocker. When I started the boat, I had a partner in this, sort of. I mean, we were both doing our thing, but we were here every day together. And we used to talk about it all the time, that it we didn't see that coming. We really didn't. It is very possible to build very serious relationships with individuals that understand what you're going through. It's fantastic when you reach out to somebody and you say, you know what? I want to get high today. Today's that day. I realize that life is good. You know what I mean? Like, it's never been better than it is right now. But today I want to get high. And the person that I'm going to call, if it's Alan, if it's anybody else, they're not going to go, Why would you be stupid enough that they just go, okay, one of those days? You want to talk about it? Tell me what's going on. Again, you don't need any answers. If you think I can't be in somebody's 5, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. You don't need any friggin' answers. You need questions. You sure you're all right, bro? Huh? Are you okay? You can go. You need me on the phone a little bit longer? I've sat on the phones until liquor stores closed. I've sat on the phones until suns come up. Whatever you got to do, right? But when you know that somebody cares that much, or if you know there are 5 waiting, it will change you. I promise it will. And the people that reach out to their 5 never relapse. You hear me? I promise you. I've been doing this now for 2 years. The people who reach out to their 5 do not relapse. It's like someone said earlier, man, you got to want it. You got to want it. We could put every single tool in place that all you need to do is plug into it, but you still have to want it. Because if you don't pick up the phone and reach out to someone in your 5, then you're going to get high, right? You're going to get drunk. You're going to relapse. And then you're going to be sitting around wringing your hands, talking about how you pissed away all of that sober time, which, by the way, is ridiculous. You don't understand that, right? If you're 5 years sober and you drink one night and the following day you quit again, doesn't start day 1. I quit 5 years ago. I had one day I stumbled. For real. You don't throw away sobriety. Full of hope. A crew member on the boat had written me once about that, and it just made so much damn sense to me. The day you shove all of your chips into the middle of the table and you say, I quit. I really am going to do this. Or there'll be stumbles. But I'd start counting that sobriety date from the day you shoved all the chips into the middle of the table. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to that rule. If you stumble and you get crap-faced for 3 weeks, right? Or if your stumble is 4.5 ounces of blow, I'm not sure that's a stumble, right? But so often, I'll get an email from somebody that said, I went out last night and I had the first mouthful of beer and I spit it out and now I've blown my sobriety. What? No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't blown anything. So in the last 2 years, you drank once. Holy hell. You're doing a lot better than you were 2 years ago, right? Marissa Robertson says, who remembers stretching the phone cord so it reaches the closet? I want to tell you something about that. It's funny that you say that. Because when I was growing up, in our kitchen, we had a phone that was plugged into the wall, one of the wall numbers, and it probably had 20 feet of the corded line. And you would run into other rooms and you'd have to sort of slam the phone cord into the door, and it was awful. But I missed that. Those days were great. This is one that always freaks out people on the boat, but this is the truth. I grew up in such a small little hick part of the world that the first girl I ever had a crush on, if I wanted to call her, I could pick up the phone and dial 3375 and her number would ring. How about that? 4 numbers. If I picked up the phone and dialed 4 numbers, her phone would ring. We were in such a small state that there was only one area code for the entire state. So you didn't need to dial everything else. If you just dialed the last 4 digits, it would instantly put you through to somebody in the same exchange. Absolutely bizarre. But I love bringing that one up because it makes me sound like my dad used to when he would do that. We walked 2 miles to school every day in the snow, uphill both ways. You know the drill. You know the drill. So here's the question, everybody. Do you really want all this crap in the rearview mirror? Whatever that crap is. You understand? I don't care. But do you really want it in the rearview mirror? If you're 60 pounds overweight and your drug of choice is food, if you comfort yourself by eating, are you tired of it? You want to get yourself back into the shape that you were in once. Is that where you're at? Fantastic. Because you know what? It's all the same game plan. Whether you're trying to get sober, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to be a better father, a better husband, a better wife, or a better friend. It all keeps coming back to how connected you are with the people in your life that you care about. And if the people in your life that you care about don't connect with you, then find new people to connect to. Or the people in your life are getting high, then find sober people to connect with. If that's too tough for you, then you don't want to be sober. For real. I have people in my 5 and they'll call me and say, you know what, I got drunk last night. You didn't call me first. When you commit, and you want to do this, you're going to call the people in your 5, and they're not going to let you get high. They're not. It's an all-in group of people here, I promise you. The Lifeboat has proven time and again, that it is ready to be there for all parties involved. For real. All right, let's say hi to some people. You're trying to buy a super chat and it won't let you. Is there something is there somebody that we can petition or burn something to the ground or something? That just doesn't sound right. Hit that like button, please, says Charlie Mullins. Charlie's been here since the first day. Actually, by way of full disclosure, Charlie was here before there was a Lifeboat or a Tommy Scoville channel. The first day I came to YouTube to watch my brother, Charlie hit subscribe. Probably had a feeling I was going to do something, but Charlie's been around forever. If he says hit that thumbs up and you don't do it, why, you're just disrespecting Charlie Mullins. You could cause a riot. Charlie's pretty popular around here. I'm 3 days into my medical detox and my headaches are so bad. It's the lack of sugar. You need to hang in there, hon. You're 3 days into my medical detox and my headaches are so bad, but it's the lack of sugar. What are you medically detoxing off of? If you don't mind sharing it, I would be very interested to hear what that is. I have a Google map picture that has 40,000 views. Well, you're doing something right yet again. Attaboy, Russ. I thank you, my friend. Either way, Russ, glad to have you, bud. Really glad to have you. Ben Turner, thank you, Ben. Really appreciate you. I'm doing fantastic, Ben. And I mean that. I'm doing fantastic. I would go out on a limb right now and say that there's always a couple of things, and especially if you're sitting in this chair, there's always people that you're worried about, that you care about, who are upset with you or upset with the boat or whatever. There's always that going on. Other than that, I can't remember a time in my life where I was happier than I am at this moment. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. It's going exactly the way everybody dreams. I'm very, very fortunate that AA Ron, was in my life at a really fantastic time for the channel, and we've met so many fantastic people through him. It's been great. AKA the Joy, member for 9 months, says, thank you everyone for all the prayers and well wishes. They definitely helped, and I'll be back soon. Well, we hope so, Heather. We miss you. We really do. We miss you, Heather. So hang in there. Yeah, Alan Ballantyne sums it up. Swiss Vapor, member 8 months, looking good and green vape. Stay sober and stable. Swiss Vape has been a guest on the channel before. If you've not seen it, it is a hell of an interview. He is a veteran and just has one of the most amazing stories. And people, I'll tell you, if you're sitting there right now and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I need to quit, but there's 2 substances or whatever. I don't think there was anything that man didn't quit. There was so much that he had to lay down, and did it one at a time, and in some cases 2 at a time, and kicked opiates, kicked benzos, kicked booze. And this was a cat that was drinking gallons a day. So super, super proud of Swiss Vape. And just another guy that we've been real blessed to have on the boat for a very long time. And really proud of you, Vape. In fact, it is the official participation trophy of the Lifeboat. And you know how you can tell it's official. Well, because I said it's official. Sorry, it was a Red Bull kind of day. Shimmy, good to see you. Shimmy Dubawabi. My hip, I'm not going to lie, Diana M. My hip is bothering me. I'm struggling with the hip, but we were smart in getting out today and walking, because that did a lot. I think if we had laid around like we very much wanted to, that we probably would have seized up. Quiet Girl, congratulations, Quiet Girl. Unbelievable. Boy, that's a tough taper, everybody. If you're not familiar with Klonopin, it is the top of the food chain for benzodiazepines. Really, really strong. It's a drug called clonazepam, and it is a very, very difficult drug to quit. But you're doing it right. Doing a medical detox and talking to your doctors. If your drug of choice is a benzodiazepine, right, the same family as Valium and all of those, if that's your drug of choice, please talk to a healthcare professional before you decide to quit. Don't cold turkey it. It is a very, very tough thing. Harder this is my third go. Third time's a charm. Doing it so I can connect with my daughter and for me. Good for you. And there will be real connection. When you remove the chemicals from your life, the connection that you get with family and friends and the people that you love, for the first time in your life, it's going to be real. I promise you. Take this from a guy that did 30 years of dope, right? There is no real affection. There is no real love. There is no real anything. All of that is, you're too affected by the chemical in the brain and what it's doing to our brain chemistry. And sadly, we trust it, don't we? Think about it. We go out and we get strung out and we do dope every single day, and we meet someone else who's doing dope every single day, and the two of you are instantly in love. Are you kidding? Take my word for it. You're not in love. I've been down this road. In fact, anybody that's gone through the sobriety thing, you will bond with a drug addict in 15 minutes. The two of you have something in common. You both need to get high, and I promise you will convince yourself that you're madly in love. And you can also get over each other in about 15 minutes. It's sad, but it's the truth. Right? There's no connection with dope in your life. It's not. It's fake. Sadly, that's the truth. It's fake. You hear me? Fake. Fake happiness, fake love, fake all of it. Get it out of your life and watch how your relationships with the people that you love or the people you want to love, watch how those relationships will change. I have a friend driving 2 hours to pick me up. I don't have to walk in my house and face my mom being alone. Amy, thoughts and prayers with you. I watched 3 guys share a Klonopin sucker. Oh, man. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They were really big in pain meds for a long time. In hospice, they will put fentanyl into a lollipop sucker. And the person will just take it and suck on it. And it's very, very quick into the system. And it's for people whose pain levels, when you're getting to the point where you're going to leave this planet, they don't care how much dope they give you, right? The hospice hands out stuff that you would not believe. And I had a friend that used to get them, and it was the same thing. There'd be a room with 10 people, and they'd be passing that thing around, and yeah, just foulness. But once again, when you're in the life and you're on dope, it's funny how fast that you stop caring about things like that. Right? Things that you would never do. There was a great ad in the 1980s where there was a guy. Yeah, Actique lollipops. Dr. Melissa knows. Yep. There was an excellent ad where a guy dropped a cocaine bullet. It's a small little glass vial. It's got a bullet in it. It's, nothing big. It's like a gram of Coke or whatever. But he's bending down and trying to reach behind the toilet and pick this up. And on the screen, it said, "Drugs are glamorous." And I remember that commercial really distinctly. There were a lot of commercials from the 80s I remember. I don't think that weed is history now. Swiss vape. Good Lord, my brother. That's I was going to say hat trick, but it's so much more than 3 drugs. It's like a double hat trick. That is the only drug that Swiss vape was still using. My brother, I can't begin to tell you how impressive that is for me. That is unbelievable. Yes, those lollipops have, yeah, Lemmy. Yeah, there's all kinds of good nicknames for exactly what you're talking about, and I'm not going to share any of them. We're going to keep this one PG-13. It's PG anyway. Anyway, so everybody, I hope everybody's listening. Please connect. Please don't just use this to stop by and talk. For real. I mean, you know what? If you're just here to support other people, fantastic. If you are feeling something in your life that resembles suffering, don't do it in silence. It's not going to get better. If you believe that you can do this on your own, I promise you you're wrong. I promise you you're wrong. It doesn't work. I mean, it may 1 in 100, whatever, but the gold standard is what we do here. And there's a reason for that. And the nice thing is it's a lot easier the way we do it, right? We make this a whole lot less intimidating. And that has been the goal from the word go. From Illinois to Arizona is about 1,600 miles. My goodness. Because you get about 300 in Missouri, 400 off to Oklahoma, and another 500 in Texas. And then you'll have New Mexico, which is another 500. This man has road tripped before. Did you hear that? Yeah. He was cracking that off like it was impressive. Yeah, exactly. Right off the top. I'm impressed. I don't know if there's any truth to anything you just said, Todd, but you had me buying it. So If it's not the truth, it was very convincing. And if it is the truth, there you go. I mean, this man's got it down. Carol Klingon Targ Herder. Gotta love it. Love the name. I really do love the name. Okay, so before we go today, I want to give a big shout out to all of those who lurk, right? People said in the beginning of the Lifeboat that they didn't like that term because it sounded bad. For those of you who are observing and are not in the comment section, we love you. Usually we get 30 or 40 people that comment in the comment section, but usually there's about double that watches any live feed. So to all of you who are just observing, do me a favor. If you're suffering, start popping in there every once in a while and introducing yourself. You'll find that everybody here will introduce themselves to you very quickly. We are a very loving group of people. The beautiful thing about recovery, and I have seen this across the board, I promise you, across the board. Every single time somebody successfully recovers from any kind of addiction, long-term recovery, right? When somebody recovers, they never forget where they've been. It's really a unique thing. It's what I love most about all people in recovery. They don't become clean and sober and instantly look down their noses on people that were living and feeling what they felt. There's that acceptance and there's that love and there's, it's instant. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. We're very, very fortunate to have what we have. You guys created it, and I love being a part of it. But for the love of God, take full advantage of it, please. All right. Guess what, everybody? We're back in candy corn season. And if you've been on the Lifeboat for any length of time, you know how important it is when we're back in candy corn season. So we've loaded up on the good stuff. Alan Ballantyne has come clean. The man has a habit and is planning on bringing several kilos of candy corn, both the standard yellow and the chocolated top versions, back into Australia. So all of the people that picked on me last year for candy corn, you can all now officially apologize to me, because even Alan Ballantyne admits that the fresh stuff's fantastic. Thank you, Stacy. Really appreciate it. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you found us. The cat is not in the basket. I blame Alan.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, see that? He admits it. It's his fault. All right, everyone. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. on the Lifeboat. All right. I'm Captain Tommy. We love you all, and we'll see you on the boat. Okay. God bless. Take care.